So you're just wanting to get into makeup, you never really dabbled into it before, but you don't know where to begin. You walk into Ulta, you feel extremely overwhelmed because you have so much makeup to look at. You've got the drugstore side and you've got the prestige side. I'm going to go ahead and show you a full face of drugstore slash affordable makeup that you can pick up that works wonderful, so that way you can kind of stay in that budget, but also step into the makeup world and start learning how to use these products. First thing is, you're always going to want a primer. This one is by Essence. It's only $5.99. This is the Fix and Last Jelly Primer. I love this so much because it is very hydrating, but it also has that gripping effect that's really nice, and it's going to help lock in that makeup. I always feel like using a gripping primer really helps that foundation and everything else to just stay on the skin. Next, jumping into a foundation, we're actually going to go in with a tinted hydrator. Sometimes going in with a more full coverage foundation can be overwhelming at first, so we're going to start off a little lighter. So this is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This is $6.99. We're going to go ahead and apply this. I have the shade Fair. You can also pick up a beauty sponge from Real Techniques. They have really good ones, but I actually got this one at the dollar store, so if you happen to have a dollar store close to you, I think those work great. So for me, what I like to do is just go ahead and apply this directly to the sponge, and then just kind of dab it on and then start to blend it out. And just make sure we're coating this nice and even. Now this is a tinted hydrator, so it's not going to be full coverage. It's going to be nice and light coverage. Now, the amazing thing about makeup is that there is no set right or wrong way to do something. You do it however you want to do it. I'm going to use both powder and cream products to show you a variety of different products you can use, but you don't have to. So I'm going to go in with the cream bronzer next, and this one's by Makeup Revolution. This one was only, I had to write down all the prices here so I don't forget. This one was $8, which is not bad at all. And it actually works really well. It's very creamy, so it's easy to work with. And I have the shade Light. So what I like to do is go ahead and take my beauty sponge, and take the bottom of it and go ahead and tap that in and go ahead and start stamping it where I want to put the bronzer. So I like to put it right here, kind of like the high points of my cheek, but not super high because I want to be able to leave a spot for where I put my blush. So we do right here, and we're also going to do the forehead, and if you want to get a little crazy, you can do the sides of your nose too. All right, I think that looks so beautiful. Now we're jumping into a cream blush. This one is by e.l.f. This is the Turks and Caicos blush, and this one retails for, man, I don't have none of these memorized, $7. So what I like to do is take a brush to apply this, and I usually take a brush that looks like this. So like, obviously they don't have this brush anymore, but like just a brush that is like this shape, just because I feel like it's nice and packed, so I can really get in there and then go ahead and apply. I love doing the bronzer and the blush before I do concealer. That way, if I end up doing like too much blush, the concealer helps to kind of tone that down. So I'm just going to apply this kind of like the apples of my cheeks and bring that up. That's where I like to apply my blush. You can apply it wherever you like to apply it. The e.l.f. Putty Blushes work out so well. I feel like they blend so easily, and I have tons of other shades, so I highly recommend checking those out. They're really good for beginners. They're going to blend out wonderfully. Moving on to concealer, we're going to jump into the ColourPop. This is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Concealer. I love this because it's not too full coverage, so it's nice on when you're wanting to do a lighter day. But I've put a little bit here, a little here. And then because I did the bronzer on my nose, I'm just going to take a little bit there and a little bit there. You can put the concealer wherever you would like. That's completely up to you. If you do want one that's more full coverage, I do recommend the Wet n Wild, no, not the Wet n Wild, the e.l.f. Camo one. That one is really good and full coverage. Now what we're going to do is I take this side of my sponge, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and blend out that concealer. And if I forgot to mention, the concealer is $9. Now we're going to jump into something to set everything. And that's going to be this Essence Brighten Up. This is the banana powder. This is what it looks like. It is only $4.99, and it is a really good powder. You can use whatever you want to set with. I have like these tools. This is a Tati one that they don't sell anymore. And you can also get like a big pack of these for like 10 bucks off of Amazon. But you can also just use a brush. That part is your preference. So I'm just going to pick some up on my puff here. And we're just going to go ahead and push that under the eye to set everything. And just look at the brightness. All right, now that we've got our eyes looking very bright, we're jumping into setting the bronzer with a powder bronzer now. This is the Makeup Revolution Mega Bronzer. This is $8, and this is the shade Warm. I'm actually probably gonna go light-handed with this because I think this is a little dark for me, but it's huge. It's gonna last you a long time for $8. It's not bad at all. I like to take a brush that looks like this. It's kind of fluffy, but also has that angle, so I can kind of get in there precisely. So I'm gonna pick some up on my brush here, and I like to go in and kind of tap and then start to swirl. Now it's time to go ahead and set our blush. We're going to use this by Essence. It's the Pure Nude Blush in the shade Bold Heart, and it's only $4.99. It's a baked formula, and it works so good. I'm going to take another kind of angled brush to apply this blush. So we're going to pick up some on our brush here and I kind of start high. That way I don't have like a ton popping up on my face right here. Kind of swoop it. I'm going to drag some up over here so that way. And one of the popular things right now is adding blush to your nose, so if that's something that you want to do, go for it. Now to add some highlight, we're going to go in with the Essence Kissed by the Light Illuminating Powder. This one is, I think it's $5.99. Yes, $5.99. And what I'm going to do is pick it up on a brush that looks like this. I think this is actually supposed to be a eyeshadow brush, but I prefer it for my highlighter. And we're just going to go ahead and pop that on. Look how pretty. I prefer highlighters that look almost like wet when they're on the skin, unless I'm doing like a crazy look and I don't mind like the glitter. But if I'm just doing something where I'm going out like to work or just somewhere where I'm not putting on crazy makeup, I prefer that like wet look of a highlighter, and this definitely gives that. And you can definitely mix all of these together and it's not going to affect the color. It's still going to bring out that nice illuminating shade. It's gorgeous. For brows, I think e.l.f. makes really good brow products. We have their Instant Lift Brow Pencil, which is only like, I think it's like $3. Yeah, $3. And then I like their Brow Lift as well, which is $6. So what I like to do is go ahead and fill in my brows, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the brow lift, and I just take like a spoolie, something like this, dip it in there, and help push up the brows. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so you do not have to use both of those brow products that I did. I just want to make that disclaimer. You can use one or the other. You can do whatever you want. It's completely up to you. Now diving into eyeshadow, we're going to go in with this ColourPop quad here. This is usually about $10 at Ulta. This specific one, I don't think that they have at Ulta anymore, but there are tons of other quads. I recommend staying towards something that has some neutral tones in it, just that way you can get used to using the eyeshadows, but it's completely up to you. There are no rules to makeup. You do whatever your heart desires. But this is what I'm going to jump into today, and we're going to focus on this brown shade and this shimmer shade here. Now what I did is I used the concealer that I used under my eyes when I was spreading it out. I went ahead and put some on my lid as well to help create that tacky base for my eyeshadow to stick on. You can use an eye primer if you want to, but it is not necessary. So I am picking up the brown shade on a fluffy brush, and I'm literally just going to be applying this like all over my lid here and kind of buffing it to where it kind of comes to like a lighter shade and blends out at the top. So I'm just putting this all over the lid. All right, I went ahead and also took that brown shadow and I put it on my bottom line. I usually take just a flat brush like this and just line underneath there. You don't have to do that. That's just what I like to do. Now I'm going to go in with this shimmer shade, and we're going to pop that in the inner corner, but we're also going to put that on the first part of the eye here. And then to finish off our eyes, we're just going to go in with the Maybelline Colossal Mascara, and then we're also going to line our waterline with the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil. Those products are $9.99 for the mascara, and then the liner is $2.99, so very, very affordable. Sorry, I keep looking over the paper. I can't memorize all those prices. Now for our lips, we're jumping into this NYX Lingerie XXL liquid lipstick. I love these because they are matte, but they do not feel drying or heavy on the lips. So I'm going to pop this on, but then we're going to put a gloss over top, and this one is the NYX This Is Juice Gloss. It's such a nice gloss. This one's $10, this one's $8, so we're going to go ahead and pop these on. Next product we're going to use is our setting spray, which is this is one by NYX as well. This is the Plump Finish setting spray, and this is $10. All right, this is the look all completed using all of the drugstore affordable makeup to create a beginner's look. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this helped you out. I hope it did, and have a great day.